How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Steins Gate, my darling's embrace. Trying to get back into the groove of things. I am feeling much better from being sick, but I've been stuck having to deal with finals. I'm actually 30 minutes away from taking a final, actually 45 minutes, but we're gonna speed through this session, try and get as far as we can. So no time for a recap, because I, one, don't even know what happened in the last episode, and two, we just don't have the time. It's probably more worth it to read on. The next morning, Ferris and I are standing in front of the apartment, or of an apartment building near Akihabara. Oh, that's right, we're gonna meet up with, okay. Yeah, it's coming back to me. Moeka was gonna fix the, the horrible script that was written up. I woke up to an email from Moeka this morning. I contacted Ferris, and so here we are now, standing in front of Moeka's building. Her place is located in an old 2-floor building made of wood. It gives off a distinct Showa-era feel to it, and I wouldn't be terribly surprised if it was built over 40 years ago. When I say it has a Showa-era feel to it, I don't mean that in a good way. The place is in terrible condition. The staircase and outside hallways are full of rusted pipes and the like. I hope this thing doesn't fall apart. Ferris and I cautiously climb the iron stairs and head to Moeka's apartment. I knock on the door, but silence.
Oi! Shiatsu!
And we both call out to her, knocking a little more strongly this time. Still no reply.
どうしたのかにゃ?
寝てるのかもしれん。
にゃ、困ったにゃ。
Ferris furrows her brow and then casually turns the doorknob. And then with a creepy creaking sound, the door slowly opens.
開いちゃったにゃ。
So much for security.
不用心にも程があるな。
It's entirely possible that she left the door open for us because she knew we were coming to get the script. But even then, that's way too dangerous for a woman living alone.
もうにゃ。入るにゃ。
Ferris calls to Moeka and steps through the doorway. The next moment, I hear a tiny scream.
どうした?
Did something happen? I immediately rush in after Ferris. Oh, that's right. It's like every time, every world line we go down, just the realization of how disgusting her apartment is. True chaos. Not the chaos that I, Hyomin Kyoma, seek. No, the spectacle before my eyes is in that of which even I would never willingly partake in. Convenience store bags are strewn about every which way. Empty beer and cocktail cans are scattered all over the place. Amidst the dirty clothes on the floor are papers that I can only assume are research materials for her articles. It's all just a huge mess.
やっぱり片付けられない女だったか。
にゃ。すごいのにゃ。
In one of the corners of the room, I spot Moeka curled up into a ball on the floor. She's not even sleeping on a futon. I take off my shoes and step in, Ferris close behind me.
おい、シアツシ。すまないが、少しだけ起きてくれ。
もうにゃ。台本をもらいに来たにゃ。もうにゃ。起こしてごめんにゃ。フェリスさん。
And so she's awake.
って寝るな!
Maybe not. I speak close to her ear, causing her to sit up, blinking confusedly.
何じゃなくて、台本ができたってメールくれたろ。
台本。
It looks like she's finally got blood flowing to her brain. Moeka remembers why we're here. After slowly crawling over to her table, she begins rummaging through the stuff on top of it. Books, copies of documents, and all kinds of other items fall onto the floor.
これかな。
Moeka hands Ferris a printed stack of papers.
にゃ。
Ferris seems confused. I curiously peek over her shoulder and see in big bold letters, "Now you too can be a cleanup pro, 10 vital rules from a charismatic housewife." What the hell? Yeah, no comment.
あ、間違い。それ、別の記事。
That's interesting. She can write articles about cleaning and how to be a quote-unquote cleanup pro, but she can't really clean up herself. Moeka grabs the stack of papers from Ferris and puts it back where she found it. She hands over a separate stack. A shining finger. Maybe you should get that charismatic housewife to clean your own place before you write an article like that. As I internally shake my head in dismay, Ferris reads over the redone script. She nods, clearly satisfied with the end result.
すごいにゃ。これならみんな OK してくれると思うにゃ。そう。よかった。
I take a look at the script and, yeah, the basic story is mostly the same, but all of our complaints have been addressed. The weird, vague parts have been cleared up, and now it's a proper maid story. To be honest, I never knew Shining Finger had this kind of talent. She should be writing novels or something.
あと。
Well, in another world line,
ちも。もうじき。
Moeka points at the printer next to the table. What appears to be recently printed papers are still sitting in the tray. While there are still some blanks here and there, the headers and photos are neatly laid out. She must be using this as a reference to see how it will look in the magazine. The article itself is about the Akiba Maid Cafe War, and judging from the headlines on the page, it's going to be about 4 degrees Celsius's crooked methods and all the illicit rumors surrounding him.
萌えにゃは頼りになるにゃ。
You know, the only downside I see to this is that with 4 degrees Celsius's money and, you know, his army of messed up people, it's very likely that he could also get something written that talks shit about us. Or maybe they'll just result or go to violence. Who knows?
できたら読んで。
だがな、その前にちゃんと寝ろしやつし。今日はお前
Yep, my bad.
休みなんだろ。
Did not mean to do that.
そうする。
Later, Moeka immediately lays down and closes her eyes. It's less like sleeping and more like fainting.
なあおい、それはちゃんと寝るとは言わん。着替えろ。布団を敷け。
But no matter how much I shake her body, Moeka stays silent. With no other choices left to me, I cover her with a blanket that's lying nearby, and Ferris and I quietly exit the room. Yeah, I'm not really one to sleep in my clothes a lot. Like, I have to swap into some actual sleeping wear. I don't know, just sleeping in jeans never felt the most comfortable. But sometimes I do it. Sometimes I am that tired. Fortunately, the door has a push-type automatic locking cylinder, so I'm able to lock it from the outside.
さてと、どうするかな。
I look down at my watch. It's still only 10 a.m. We spent less time at Moeka's place than I expected, so we're ahead of schedule. Both of us figured we'd be discussing things for a while with Moeka, and then we'd head to May Queen Yan Yan in the afternoon.
しょうがないにゃ。ちょっと早いけど、フェイリスはメイクインでお仕事するにゃ。
じゃあ俺もそうするか。
That said, we have maids on duty at May Queen right now. Mayuri and Lukako are both there, plus 2 veteran maids who refuse to give in to 4 degrees Celsius's threats. With customers fairly sparse during the morning hours, there won't be much work for us to do. Nonetheless, the 2 of us make our way toward May Queen Yan Yan. Akiba in the morning has a different kind of hustle and bustle to it compared to the evening hours. Stores are either just opening up or preparing to, with workers and clerks carrying merchandise and putting up displays inside and outside. And since summer vacation is in full swing, there are more casual shoppers walking around than ever. I stop in a certain corner of town. Why? Well, the sign on one of the buildings in front of me reads used PCs. If we head straight to Meikui Nyanyan, Ferris will probably have her mind on work for the rest of the day. How often does she ever have free time like this? I wonder if I can't use this opening to give her a bit of a break.
なあフェイリス。昨日約束しただろ。レトロ PC を扱ってるショップに案内してくれるって。ちょっと行ってみないか。
これから？
おう。
Ferris seems surprised by my sudden suggestion, excuse me. She looks up in thought, as though she's figured out what I'm getting at, and then grins at me.
にゅふふ。このフェイリスとデートできるなんて光栄に思ってほしいにゃ。
Oh, I'm not honored at all, I'm kinda just here.
デートなどではない。我が研究のためのレトロ PC 探しだ。
うふー。
なんだ。
Ferris looks like she's plotting something, you know, like a cat ready to cause some mischief.
キャストオフだにゃー。
Ferris immediately vanishes from my line of sight. Surprised by the suddenness of this all, I turn around to find her right behind me.
What?
Oh, that's so strange.
キャストオフ完了。
In front of my eyes stands not a cat girl, but a regular high school girl. Ferris's trademark cat ears are gone. Trademark? Okay.
何のつもりだフェイリスニャンニャン。
何ってデートだから。
違うというのに。
私の猫耳はね、展開から使わされたフェイリスニャンニャンがフェイリスであるための呪縛なんだよ。だから猫耳をつけてるときは私特別な男の子と仲良くしちゃいけないの。
She gently laughs, but not in the cat-like voice she usually does. Her tone has changed completely, and there's not a nyan in sight. If anything, she sounds more elegant, sweet even. Strangely enough, these small changes are enough to completely alter the atmosphere that surrounds her.
フェイリスじゃない私は初めましてかな。
いや、でもフェイリスはフェイリスだろ。
そうだけど。
She quickly brings her lips close to my ear. What's this fragrance? A subtle aroma, sweet and fruity, tickles my sense of smell.
ものすごい秘密教えようか。
Her gentle breath brushes against my ear. I think I know I think I know what she's getting at. It's her actual
マ
name.
ナとは違う。今の私の名前。
She's right. There's no way Ferris Nyanyan is her actual name. She has to have a proper normal name.
ただね、それを聞いてしまったら京馬には魔法がかかるかもしれないよ。
魔法？
そう。私のこと好きになっちゃう魔法。
Nah, I'm only in love with chaos.
は？
I don't know why I said it like that. I think I was gonna try and go for something a little different there, but whatever. Instinctively, I turn and look directly at her. Her eyes are narrowed, and I can hear her softly laugh. With such a different air about her, I can hardly think straight, but deep down, she's still the same Ferris Nyanyan. The second I come to this conclusion, she pulls away from me.
やっぱりやめた。
え？
マヨシーやクーニャンに叱られるかもしれないし。
なんであいつらの名前がここで出てくるんだ。
さあ。
Ferris smiles and shrugs her shoulders before suddenly wrapping her arm around mine. She gently tugs at me.
さあ、行こう、京馬。
I mean, I know her name, and I'm hoping that a lot of you viewers also know her real name. Because we, you know, hopefully all of us here have gone through the base game. Her tugging is so girlish that I can't even work up the energy to pull away and scold her like I always do. Ferris smiles and giggles, leaving me at her mercy as we head toward a retro PC shop. This is a lot of pink. I don't know if that's actually what it looks like. My monitor really just protrudes some colors, like a lot of colors. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but man, there's a lot of pink here. Wide-eyed in amazement, I stand before what can only be described as a mountain of treasure. The retro PC shop Ferris has brought me to is deep within a back alley in Akiba, and I imagine only the most diehard of fans know about this place. Inside and outside the store are shelves filled with old PCs. The first set of shelves in the store are dedicated to devices that were overproduced. The prices are pretty cheap too. This includes the PC 6001, 8001, 88 series and more. An x86, like the one enshrined in the lab's experiment room, is casually sitting here amongst other machines.
Oh? Towns 2ではないか!
I latch onto the video-equipped Braun tube TV-like body. By the time I was a small child, this particular model had been discontinued. Fortunately for me, a neighborhood friend had one at their house, and we'd pretend to be programmers on it.
こっちのこれは NZ80C か?
I'm sure these are all supposed to be like
か?
references to real PCs, but
ねえ見てこ
I don't know anything about retro PCs. I really don't.
おお MC37!
れビットヒットだ
その相性を知ってる女子高生がいるとは思わなかったなこっちはコンタかうわ PX78 まで
I can't help but raise my voice after seeing it sitting there naked out in the open.
ねえねえ今日はこっちのコーナー NSX がずらっと並んでるよ
If I really cared, I'd probably look at the tips for all these PCs that they're bringing up, but I really don't.
たまらんな全て買い占めたい気分だ
Wanna know what I want if I went for a quote-unquote retro PC? It's probably one of the old Macs. You know, the one with the colorful backs and everything. Solely for the nostalgia purpose, and also because I never really learned how to use them. Because back in my old elementary/middle school, that's what we had for the longest time for our, I guess, our only computer classroom. And I never quite understood how to use it because I grew up on like Windows XP and all the other older Windows. So I didn't really understand how to use it, especially when there wasn't a right click. There was no right click on these little mice, so I didn't understand how to go about a lot of things. But there was something about that operating system, and even the Mac operating system to this day, that is really interesting. Honestly, I just really want a Mac of my own, like low-key, would definitely, like, maybe not kill for a Mac, and I'm not talking about the big Macs. I'm talking about the computer Macs here, if we're still on the same page. I definitely would appreciate having one, but I don't need one in my life. It's just a bit of technology that is different from what I normally use. Maybe I'm getting into the Apple ecosystem a little bit too much here. Ferris and I excitedly browse the old PCs and game consoles, making our way to the back of the store. In the back, there's a showcase of super expensive and rare machines. You know, the kinds one might expect to find in a place like this.
これパパが持ってたよ
Ferris's eyes sparkle with delight as she puts her face up against the case.
えすごいなこれこそ本当の意味でレトロ PC だぞ
Naturally, the price is absurd. If we're just going by basic specs, it should be dirt cheap, but you could easily buy 10 of the latest PCs for this amount.
フェイリスのパパさんはかなりの PC コレクターなんだな
結構いろんなの集めてたよ
フェイリスのレトロ PC 好きはそのせいだってマイルから聞いた
そんな感じあ懐かしいこっちのやつもパパが大事にしてた
Ferris continues to cast her gaze at the showcase, her eyes sparkling with delight. But despite her high spirits, I can't help but notice that she keeps referring to her father in the past tense. Well, you see, Now that I think about it, the last time we visited her place, her mother was the one that came out to greet us.
どうしたの？私の顔に何かついてる。
We've actually never met her mother, only her
What?
father,
あ、いや、
and it depended on the world line.
あれれれ。もしかして私の名前も聞いてないのに魔法がかかっちゃった？
バカ言うな。
照れちゃってかわいいにゃ。
I pout at her, and for just a moment she laughs and returns to her cat-like speaking style.
面白かった。
After hitting up that first shop, the two of us went on to pursue other back alley shops all across Akiba. We also checked out some retro game shops and even got into a fierce rhythm game competition at an arcade. After wandering for a while, we eventually ended up at this open-air cafe. Ferris had been in good spirits since the start of this little trip, and I'm glad I invited her out.
たまにはこういうのもいいものだな。
たまにはっていうのはレトロ PC やゲームをダラダラ見て回ること？それとも
No, not the latter.
女の子とデートすること？
お前はまだそういうことを言うか。
Ferris sticks her tongue out from between her lips, excuse me.
だいたいデートで秋葉の裏通りとか PC ショップとかありえないだろう。
そうかな。
Ferris puts her finger to her lip and thinks about it for a moment.
でも私にとっては特別な場所なんだよ。子供の頃ね、よくパパと一緒にこうやってお散歩したの。迷路みたいな路地を歩いてレトロ PC ショップを見たりゲームをしたり、本当に楽しかったな。
Ferris's gaze shifts as though she's looking far off into the distance.
で、その時ね、パパがよく言ってた。ルミホはいつまでパパと一緒にこうして歩いてくれるのかなって。いつか大切な人ができたらパパじゃなくてその人と歩くのかなって。だからね、私にとっては特別な場所なの。
Ferris laughs softly, but I can still see a flash of loneliness in her eyes, as though she's still chasing after something far in the past. The smile suddenly drops from Ferris's face, and she covers her mouth. Yep. She stated her name. Panicked, she starts to blink rapidly.
どうした？
今教えちゃった、私の名前。
そうだったか？
とぼけてる。聞いたでしょ。
おう、まあ。
Rimiho. And that's what Ferris said to me.
ああ、これで魔法がかかっちゃったね、今日は。
Nope.
それはない。
Why'd he say not yet?
まできっぱり言わなくてもいいじゃない。
I don't like the not yet part. Ferris pouts with her small red lips.
今日なんかそんなに意地悪だと
I don't think that was supposed to be, that did not need an apostrophe.
俺は残虐なるマッドサイエンティストだからな、当然だ。嘘。優しくてお人よしで、あとお人よしで優しいくせに。 その2つしかないのか。
Rimiho's, Ferris's expression brightens, and she takes a sip of the iced tea sitting on the table. Then after playing with her straw for a moment...
あのね、今日も。
ん？
今日はありがとう。そしてごめんなさい。
何がだ？
私がかなり参ってることバレちゃってたんだね。
何のことかわからんな。
はにゃー。フェイリスニャンニャンもまだまだ修行が足りないにゃー。
まだまだも何も、お前は高校生なんだ。そんなに頑張る必要はないだろ。
フェイリスにはそうも言ってられない事情があるのにゃ。
What reasons could she be referring to? If nothing else, I feel like I'm finally starting to understand. I've always seen Ferris as a girl that lives life at her own pace, but in all reality, she's just a normal high school girl. And that normal high school girl is shouldering an absurdly heavy burden.
なあ、フェイリス。もっと俺たちを頼ればいい。そのための仲間だろ。またそういう顔をするんだな。お前、今困ったような顔をした。前もそうだった。みんなに迷惑とか、みんなに悪いとか、そんな風に思うのはやめてもらった方が嬉しい。少なくとも俺はそう思う。
ごめんなさい。
だから謝るなよ。
I shoot her a light glare, and Ferris immediately looks away. Pretty rare for someone like her who always looks people in the eyes when she talks.
私。
ん？
ずっと大人たちに混じって戦ってきたの。大切なものを守るために。
Uh-oh, we're getting serious here. Time to end the episode. And not just because things are getting serious, but like, I actually legitimately need to get ready for a final. I just wanted to get this out of the way and start to, I guess, get back on that mostly daily grind that I actually have not been close to at all this entire month. So hopefully things go well with this final, and hopefully I can get back on track. So apologies for not really being on track with things. I hope that over my winter break I am able to. Thank you all for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.